Hello everyone, this is Blender Guppy. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the quick displacement operator to create paneling details for a spaceship like this. So this is the one I posted in Twitter and also in Facebook. So this is like a mothership. So I'm going to borrow the base, Control C, and then create a new file, and Control V. And hopefully the rotation can be no, the rotation is not reset. It's like okay. Let's go back, shift, and go to the cube, and Alt P, clear parent, and Control C, then create a new file, and Control V. Okay, we'll get rid of this for the simple demonstration's sake. Just get rid of this. So it's just a demonstration of the process. For paneling, of course, we have the random panels, and you increase the subdivision to generate more cuts or more face islands, and like that. But you can also use quick displacement for this. But the only thing is that it's destructive, so it will destroy this source mesh if we use it. But we can use a combination of actions to actually avoid destroying the source mesh. First, we have to use the random panels first and create a pattern. Or you can just duplicate the faces if you want. You can do this way. You can get rid of the border faces. Then use these islands to generate the displacement via image. Or you can just extract the faces. And then mirror this. X, Z. And let's see if this will work. UV this first, because this for the image displacement, it's much better to UV. Unwrap. Okay. And then we can use, this is probably gonna create problems here, but let's see. Load images. Let's try IG displacement texture. This one. And quick displacement image. And the images, use UV. So you have a mess like that. You can just increase the mid level. Bring it up the mesh. And then decrease the strength. So if you want more to experiment, to go to not use the random panels for this and use something else like this, quick displacement. So I'm just showing you the method of how you can do it. Filter size for blurring the effects of the displacement. And this can work with mid to far away render ranges. Let's increase the cuts to something like 70. There we go. Actually, that's good. And size to 2. And let's reduce let's make the strength more subtle. Okay. Let's try other textures that's here. Let's try diffuse. This is what I've let's set the filter to 0 and strength to something higher. So this is actually a texture I baked using random flow. You can see that it also can be used for this. I think this is the diffuse. Yeah. So basically this is just the color of each panel of each face island using the random vertex color. So this is what it looks like in images. Diffuse. So this is what I baked using the random flow add-on. And this is the other one. This is the AO. Let's try the AO and see what it looks like in the displacement. Hopefully, yes. So this is the AO. So those lines doesn't really look that good, but the diffuse looks awesome. And this is, yeah. So this is just the effect of the random vertex color per island that I used on the baked mesh. Let's go back to, let's try the other J's placement. What is this? I think this is this is okay, let's go back to the first one. Okay, 2, and then 0.05, 0.04. Okay, so this is so a combination of this, the geometry breaking out the outer and inner spaces of the model, and the combination of another texture can already make this starship look really good, or battleship. Let's try size of 4, 10. Okay, that's too much. It may exist in the universe, but aesthetically it's too much. 2, 2, rotate. No. So filter size is 5. Okay, 1. So that's how you can use the displacement. So just extract a proxy mesh, or a mesh you can use for the displacement. Make sure to extract beyond the center line so you can mirror it correctly. And then you unwrap, and let's try the quick displacement using using the texture right here. 70 again. Let's decrease the size. Let's try the other one, the diffuse. So you can see the screws right there. Okay, the UV itself is not that flat. That's why the go to text tools and rectify. Hopefully this makes the texture flatter as well. There we go. 0.5. And play around with the randomizing the UV. Let's try and auto mirror this on the on this side. And then you can also do this in this part as well. So let's just try and then move on to shading. I'm just gonna open the shader from the previous mothership file model. So extract beyond the center line. Then mirror this on the X and mark seam. Whoops. Mark seam and unwrap. Let's try and see the rectify. Hopefully flatten this. And then like we can shift 6, use displacement for this and use the same texture. There we go. Let's try 80. So the only downside of this is you have a lot of faces. You will generate more faces, but you can use displacement for this. So not displacement, the decimate modifier to bring down the resolution and also keep most of the details. There we go. Why didn't it? Oh, I forgot to include this. Okay. Extract faces. Auto mirror XZ. Unwrap. I'm pretty sure it's going to be flat. Quick displacement. This one is the same texture again, and play around with the location of the UV map. So this will also destroy the location of the UV map when you, because you can't randomize the displacement with the settings that is in the displacement modifier and also in the image texture. There's no properties to simply randomize this. So what I did is I randomized the UV instead. So this is randomizing the UV. Okay, let's settle for this one. So if you're tired of using the effects of loop extrude and random panels, you can just use image displacement. So let's try this with the texture. So let's not do this anymore for time's sake. And F4 append from the previous ship. Where is that? Ship 5. Material and plating. Hopefully this works. Shift GT, Control Shift X, materials, assign material, and plating waste. There are plating 01. Plating, shader. So I'm going to turn off screencast in order for me to work with the shader editor and compositor much in a more fluent way. Plating, Okay, and let's render this. Activate HDRI. Going to affect the scale of the textures that I use for the that baked from random flow using random flow. It is the AO, diffuse, and the normal map. This detail is separate from the displaced geometry. So I made the texture bigger, as you can see. Let's try and turn it off so we can see the difference. So this is the displaced geometry. And this is with the textures. You can render it close up, no problem. Let's try and introduce the a multiply in the pointiness node, and let's see if this has effect. So pointiness node if uh, works really well if the geometry if the resolution of the object is really high. So let's try and use this. Control it with color ramp. Okay, so we just introduced a bit more subtle color to the model using the pointiness node. So the more detailed the model, in terms of resolution, the better this works because it acts like cavity capture using resolution. But if you use decimate on the model to bring down the faces, then some areas with not too much resolution will have less of an effect with the pointiness node. So it's a balance, but you can of course forgo the pointiness node and use the combination of AO and then some textures to produce some details. With the displaced geometry, anyway, you can use the lighting to bring them up. So it's all about the lighting from this point. There we go. So combination of textures and then some shader nodes and also the lighting really brings out the details. So this is with the displacement with our distracted meshes, and this is with the geometry using random panels and uh, random loop extrude. And this is the displaced geometry. So what's the difference? With images, you'd have details like this, and you can have control over the productive value of the shapes. And but in terms of cleanup, the displaced mesh will be a lot harder to clean up with displacement because of the nature of its displaced detail. Displacement decimate modifier because of the nature of its displaced detail. So some of its detail will disappear. Versus random panels, you also have a bit of a control with the production value by going in. By playing with the seed value, you can come up with some really workable shapes, then come in and do some manual modeling. And also with cleanup, you can just use limited dissolve because most of them are angular and also sometimes decimate. And for most of the time, they can keep their shapes together versus the displaced one. So you can pick between the two, depending. So for very large objects like this, supposedly very large objects like this, like a mothership, then you can just use displaced texture. You can use images you baked from random flow in this or from the displacement texture. And as you can see, I mixed both. Displacement for the displacement and then for the tertiary details via texture, the image maps I baked using the random flow add-on. And I think this part here, the paneling, looks better than the Ship 5 version. Yeah, yeah, definitely looks better. Okay, so that is it for this video. And this is our geometry. It's not that much. We have 700k faces. We can bring this down using the decimate modifier on the displacement object. Okay, I'm not gonna go more on this. So if you have any questions, use the comment sections below or the links in the description. And thank you for watching and have a nice day.